Welcome back from break. How was it? Beautiful. So just a recap on the first half of the day, I just wanted to go over the three principles of shape. So principles of shape, there's three things that we need to keep in mind. What are they? Beautiful. Yes. Point, line, and angle. Thank you so much. So the next half of the day, we're going to get a little hands-on. Are we excited to get hands-on? Yeah, perfect. Great. So am I. So before we get hands-on, I kind of want to take you on just a little bit of a journey, if you will. So for the time being, go ahead and everyone close their eyes for me. And picture you're at a relative's house. One of your relatives asks you to dress the dining room table for dinner. So you go into the dining room table and there's a round table. And the first thing that you have to do is you have to put a cloth over this table. So your relative hands you a cloth and you throw it over the table. So picture for a moment. What do you see within the cloth as it drapes around the round table? Go ahead and open your eyes for me. Who would like to share? Yes. Beautiful. Yes, there's pleats or there's some, right where those turns and changes of directions happen, there's pleats in there, and that's just called changes of direction within the round table. So we're going to dive into a 6-panel bob, but first, before we do that, we really have to understand where the changes of the head are vertically so we can get to the end result faster. And when we get to the end result faster, we get to see more guests and make more money. Who doesn't like making more money? Yeah, I love to make more money. So if you're down for the ride, give me a hey, hey. Thank you. So the first thing that we're going to go into is what we call vertical breakdown of the head. What's it called? Yeah, vertical breakdown of the head. Thank you so much. So my mannequin here, we'll call her Ellie, is already set up to where this is just a visual for you of what a vertical breakdown looks like. It's a road map, if you will. And if I turn her to the side, you can kind of see. What's it look like? Yeah, it kind of looks like a pizza or a pie, right? Beautiful. So why vertical breakdown? Yeah, beautiful. It's a road map, right? Great. So it's a road map. What else? Yeah, it shows the natural falling of the hair. So when gravity takes over, where does the hair naturally live? The other thing is that it's going to change, or it's going to show the major changes of direction in the head vertically, right? So say you wake up and you're going to go on a road trip. You're going to go on a road trip with your best friends. I'm from St. Louis, so I want to go to Florida. So I'm going to go down to Florida. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my GPS and my phone and I'm going to hit in my end destination, right? So the GPS calculates it, and we have a starting point and an end point. Well, within that starting and end point, there's also other little points to get us there, right? Maybe we have to go west for a little while, and then we have to make a left turn. And then we go north for a little while, and then we have to make a right turn. So that's exactly what the vertical breakdown does for the hair to make us get to our 6-panel bob a lot faster. It has several points within the journey to get us to the end result faster. Beautiful. So we're going to dive right into what vertical breakdown is. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to find the highest point of the head. So in order to do that, all we simply do is we're going to take our comb and we're going to lay it vertically right on top of the head. So to give you a visual, this is what it looks like. Excuse me, Allie. I'm going to swap you out. So, the highest point of the head. One thing that we want to make sure is that she is looking straight ahead. Why is this? Thank you for sharing. So the reason why we want her to be looking straight ahead is because, would we agree, that's how we naturally walk around? We naturally walk around looking straight ahead of what's in front of us. So before we get started, we want to make sure that she's looking straight ahead, not down, not up. May I ask you guys to be my mirror for me for this activity? Thank you. So what do we know? We have to have dark hair, white comb so we can see our line. So all I'm going to simply do is I'm going to place my comb right at the highest point of the head. Where that comb teeter-totters is our highest point. So from there, I'm just going to mark it, and I'm going to divide the right from the left. Give you a visual. So we just want to find the right from the left in our head. So my first line I've already preset in there for me, and I'm just going to go right from center front to the highest point of the head. My next line is going to go from the highest point of the head to the very end of her nape in her hairline to center back. Now the great thing about Ellie here is that she has a beautiful tattoo for us, and right where that eye is right at the center back. So we're going to use that for reference. Are we cool with that? Thank you. So a little hot tip for us is wherever we stick our finger, our comb will lead us to it. So since you guys are my mirror, if this was me in a salon situation, I would actually be right in front of her. Would we agree? Thank you. So for today's purpose, I'm going to stand behind, and you guys are going to be my mirror. We good with that? Give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you very much. So when you guys go out into workshop, you'll actually be standing right in front of her. All right. So again, where does my finger go? Right at center back. Beautiful. And I'm just going to lead my comb to that direction, or to my finger. And since we're doing vertical breakdown, what kind of lines do you think that we are wanting to see? Yes. Vertical, perfect, thank you. So our first line is going to be a nice little sketch. And once we get that done, I can go in there and really just perfect that line. I'm just slightly off a little bit here. So I'm gonna just move it to my left. And I'm just gonna grab a comb, or excuse me, a clip, and clip it out of the way. Same for over here. Clip her out of the way. So now that we've found right from left, our next step that we need to find is front from back. What do we need to find? Yes, front from back, very good. So again, we're gonna come to the highest point of the head, which, guide me through this, where does my comb go? Yes, it goes vertically right on top, and where it teeter-totters, that's the highest point of the head. So my next reference is going to be top of the ear. To divide from front to back, I'm going to simply put my pointer finger right at the top of the ear and guide my comb from the highest point down to my finger. Once I have that, again, this is just our rough draft, I'm going to come to the side and make sure that I have a straight line. Get this comb out of the way. And I'm just going to move it ever so slightly. And again, our reference point is the top of the ear. So if everybody wouldn't mind just sticking up their left pointer finger and using your own head, we're going to put our finger right where that cartilage meets our head to our ear. That's considered the top of the ear. Are we cool? Beautiful, thank you. Permission to move forward? Great. So now we're going to find the left side from front to back. Again, where's my pointer finger going to go? Beautiful, top of the ear, yes. And then from the highest point of the head, I'm going to direct it all the way down. Open her up. That looks pretty good to me. Would we agree? Beautiful. So if we like it, I'm just going to clip it away to make sure it doesn't get in the way of anything else. So now we have our right from our left and our front from our back. What questions do we have so far? Awesome. Thank you. Everybody's in the clear. Permission to move forward. Beautiful. So as our next step, it's going to be finding the corners of the head. Finding the what? Beautiful, the corners of the head. So one of the reasons why we call it the corners of the head is just like that sheet that dropped over the table. If I were to create a box on the head, simply like so, the corners would actually meet up in that 90-degree angle. Can you see it? Beautiful. So a little hot tip on this. You can actually do this a couple ways. We can actually use our combs or we can use our hands. For the first exercise, I am going to use my hands, and we're going to find our back corners. And we have two of them. We have our left back corner and we have our right back corner. So step one is, if everybody wouldn't mind putting up their left hand vertically for me, like so. And then go ahead and put your right hand horizontally like so and meet your fingers together. Beautiful. What have we just created? Yeah, we've created an angle. So all we really need to do is just shift this angle on top of the head. And where our fingers meet, that's a corner. So another example would be, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to simply place it at the top of the ear, also known as the widest part of the side of the head. Then I'm going to take my left hand and put it at the center back, the widest part of the back head of the head. Where my fingers meet, I'm just going to simply curl them in and mark my spot. Once I have that spot marked, I'm going to come over, and again, I'm going to make sure everything is falling in natural falling position. Everything is combed in natural falling position. And my finger is at the bottom of her nape, and I'm just going to draw a vertical line down to my finger. Once we have that divided out, I want to make sure that I can see my line to make sure it's clean and, yeah, vertical. Very good. That looks beautiful to me. So since I like that, I'm going to go ahead and put a clip on it. That way I don't disrupt any of that hair as I work through the rest of the process. We've already divided the center back, so all I need to do now is find that vertical line again. I have a little bit of hair that I need to clean up here. So I'm going to do so. And as I do that, once I complete that, I now have another section. So again, what's this point of reference called? Yes, beautiful. It is our left back corner. Very good. So who would like to help me guide me through on this right side? Awesome, thank you. Let me get her shifted around here real quick. So where will my left hand go? Yes, beautiful. Right at the top of the ear on the left side. And then where will my right hand go? Yep, center back, beautiful. Where my fingers meet? Yes, curl them in and make a nice indentation. So I'm just marking where I need to make my vertical line, correct? Awesome. Let me grab a couple clips here. And again, how do I want to make sure that the hair is combed? Yes, natural falling position. Very good. And then my comb will guide down to my finger. I'm a little off here, so the first parting will be a rough draft, and then you can always go back in there and clean it up a little bit. Go ahead and clip that out of the way. And notice when I'm clipping, where are the legs of my clips? Are they down or are they up? Yes, very good. They're up. Why? Yeah, so whenever I put the hair in the clip, gravity wants to naturally let the hair fall, right? So if I were to come in on top, I may have a little of that hair fall out, which might kind of skew my vertical lines and my partings at the bottom. So I'm going to go legs up, that way the hair is caught in the clip itself. I'm just going to give her a little wet down as I work through this. I don't need her soaking wet, but I do want to keep the consistency. So I'm just going to simply re-wet her down with my water bottle. And now that we have the back corners, now we have to find, Yeah, the front corners. So we have left front corner and we have right front corner. So on that, now I've showed you guys the hands. Now we're going to go ahead and go into our combs. So I have 2 combs here. And just like we did our hands, I am going to simply spin her around so you guys can see. And my right comb is going to go at the top of her ear. And my left comb is going to go at the center of her forehead, also known as center front. So where those combs meet will be my sectioning. So right there, I'm going to mark that. And again, how do I want the hair to be combed? Yeah, natural falling position. Very good. A good reference point for this, if you want to do anatomy, is if everybody sticks up their right finger for me, and without poking yourself in your eye, I'm just going to have you simply touch where your eye socket meets your bone structure. Got it? That's where we have a change of direction in the head. So right there is the easy way to check it, is I'm just going to simply stick my comb right at the corner of her eye and rock it up. Now what you'll notice is this looks like a vertical line, correct? However, if we look at it from standing in front of it, it is actually a very straight vertical line. Oh, here it is. It's a vertical line here. All right. So we're going to come to the left side. And who wants to walk me through? Where will my left hand go, or where will my left comb go? Yes, top of the ear. Very good. And where will my right comb go? Very good. Center front. And where they meet? Beautiful. That is a change of direction in the hair. I'll grab 2 more clips. And again, yes, very good. Combing the hair in natural falling position. I'm going to make a vertical line. And how do I check to make sure that I'm on the change of direction? Yeah, where does my comb go? Very good. The corner of the eye all the way up. You can see I'm just slightly off here, so I'm just going to adjust it before we move forward. And how does my clips go in? Legs up, beautiful. And I just have one more to do over here. There we go. So as you can see, we now have how many changes of direction in the head? Yes, we have 8. Very good. So when we number them off, we have a verbiage at Redken, and it's a principally based verbiage, so we always know where we are on the head. The great thing about this is that we can, like we have formulas for our color, we can now have a formula for our haircut. So when your guest comes in and they say, I would love exactly what you did the last time, now we can have a formula for our perimeter of our haircut. How cool is that, right? So we have, starting off on the left side, this is bevel number 1. We call these bevels. What are they called? Yes, bevels. So this is bevel number 1, bevel number 2, and all I'm doing is I'm going to radiate around it. Bevel number 3, and help me out with this. 4, very good. 5, yes. 6, and then right in the fringe area is 7 and 8. What questions do we have? Thank you for asking that. So the question was, what if they do not wear a fringe? So in the next segment, we're actually going to be cutting what we call a 6-panel bob. So a panel is just simply 2 bevels, 2 or more bevels, put into one to make one cutting line. Does that help answer your question? Beautiful. What other questions do we have? Yeah, so the question was, if they do have a fringe, is this how we would section it out? Absolutely, yes. So if they have a fringe, this is just a better guide for us to create that fringe in a quicker manner rather than going in and chiseling away a little bit and then chiseling away a little bit more and then chiseling away a little bit more. Now we have this is where the fringe lives. I'm going to cut, and this is where the fringe lives, and I'm going to cut. All right, so let's move forward to our 6-panel bob. All right, so now that we have our panels, now that we have our bevels, we are going to move into our 6-panel bob. I'm just going to wet her down. And the other thing that you will notice is I'm going to be working with Redken's One United. How many of us have used Redken's One United before? Beautiful. What do we love about One United? Yes, there's 25 benefits to it. Beautiful. Thank you for that. What else? Yeah, it helps manage the hair. What I'm going to use it for today is just a simple cutting lotion to help me migrate through the haircut. Are we good with that? Beautiful, thank you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start off in bevel number 3. What bevel? Yes, bevel number 3. I'm going to give her a little mist of the One United. And then I'm going to make sub-partings. What am I going to make? Yes, sub-partings. So I'm just going to simply comb the hair horizontally and make a sub-parting. Now, since I'm making horizontal partings, just to set me up for success, I'm going to just simply keep the hair this way to the left and move that hair out of my way. Now, a couple things to keep in mind is that I want to, when I'm cutting this in the salon, I want to be squared off to my bevel. What do I want to be? Yes, squared off to my bevel. So my first comb through is going to be the fine tooth of the comb. What's it? Yes, the fine tooth of the comb. This is just going to make sure that I have all the grains moving in the right direction. And I want my length to come right down below, just slightly at the edge of her tattoo that she has at the back of her neck. Thank you, Ellie, for having that tattoo. And then once I have all those grains, I'm going to flip it to my wide side and just simply pinch and release the hair. Like to see that again? Beautiful. Again, what kind of parting am I going to take? Yes, a horizontal parting. And clip this out of the way. And I'm going to comb with the fine tooth, and then I'll flip it to my wide tooth to release the tension, because we know as hairstylists, the hair stretches up to, yes, 50% when it's wet. So this is just going to help me release the tension in it and get a more predictable result. A what? Yeah, more predictable results. Very good. So as I'm doing this, you'll notice that I just have 2 fingers working on the hair. My middle finger is actually resting against the neck, and my finger on top is going to be what holds the hair in there. So my middle finger is right against the neck. I pinch, find my guide, I pinch, and then I'll release the hair. What questions do we have? Permission to move forward? Thank you. So now that I have bevel number 3, very good, I'm going to move to bevel number 4. I'm just going to take a small section as a guideline. How big of a section? Yes, a small section. I don't want to take the whole section because I don't want to create another cutting line. I just want this to be my guideline. Working with One United, and I'm going to simply move the hair to the side to create my horizontal sub-partings. Release that down, flip it out of the way. And as I go through this one, I know that my body is parallel to my bevel, bevel number 4. My middle finger is right against the neck. I'm going in with my wide tooth. There's a couple other things I want to make sure of. I want to make sure that my finger angle is horizontal. And what we can do here is I can just simply use my comb as an extension of my cutting line to make sure that I am horizontal and my finger angle isn't dipping anywhere. So after I get that done, I'm just going to make sure that my finger position is horizontal to or parallel to my bevel. And how I do that is I look above to make sure. A great thing too is if you do wear a watch, you just want to make sure that your watch is pointing up to the sky to make sure that you are parallel. I've got my guideline, and I'm just going to come in and release the hair. We'll section this out, and then after this one, I'll show you what it looks like on salon speed. Are we good with that? Beautiful, thank you. So walk me through this one. Yep, fine tooth. Wide tooth, find my guide, is my finger position, horizontal check, finger angle, horizontal check, finger position, parallel check, and I'm going to come in here and release the hair. I have a little guy left out, so I'm going to come back through and snip him away. And then release all this hair down. And do the same thing. So what if someone has not so big or not a lot of density of hair? They just have a fine amount of density. Can I take this whole section, can I take this whole panel and just cut it away? Yeah, why not, right? So now that we've got bevel 3 and bevel 4 done, I'm going to move to bevel number 2. And in bevel number 2, I'm just going to take the whole section. Are we good with that? All right, Mr. Down. The fine tooth of the comb. Wide tooth, very good. Find my guide. There she is. And release the hair. Ah, how quick was that? So now that we've got bevel number 2 out of the way, we'll come and do bevel number 5. Very good. And we'll get this hair out of the way. Take a small section guide from the previous panel. And I'm just going to wet her down so my consistency stays the same. Now we're in panel number 4, or 5, excuse me. And again, I'm just going to come through with my fine tooth, flip it around to my, very good, wide tooth. What am I checking for? Finger angle. Am I horizontal? Beautiful. And then next, yes, I'm looking for my finger position. Here's my guide, and I'm just going to come in and release the hair. So now that I'm over here, I'll come to, this is where the panels come in. We're going to merge bevels 8 into 1, and we'll merge bevels 7 into 6. All right. Take a small guide. Comb everything in natural fall. And again, my fingers are still going to stay stuck to her neck. And I'm just going to cut bevel 6 just like I would the rest. And then when I come to bevel number 7, I'm going to merge it into number 6. So this is how this looks. I'm going to simply comb it straight down into natural fall, and then I'm just going to move it around the eyebrow. And once I have that, I can come in. I'm just going to simply pinch and release the hair. Good. And we'll do the same for panel number 1. I'm going to release all the hair, grab a guideline, and come in, pinch, and release. Again, I'm going to just work this around the eyebrow, pinch, and release. And then I'm just gonna make sure it's combed all into place.